In a single move, President Trump flipped the entire geopolitical strategic board. Iran thought it had the ultimate weapon, a 21-mile choke point, 20% of the world's oil, 25% of the world's natural gas, and the audacity to hold it hostage. But here's what nobody in the legacy media is telling you. Iran didn't seize a leverage point. It just handed one to Trump. As of 10 a.m. Eastern time this morning, U.S. military's blockade of Iranian ports officially went live. CENTCOM's blockade is being enforced against vessels of all nations entering or departing Iranian ports and coastal areas through the Strait of Hormuz, covering all Iranian ports on both the Arabian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. Now, critically, ships transiting between non-Iranian ports are still being allowed through the strait, meaning it is a targeted economic stranglehold on Iran rather than a full closure of the waterway. Now, the blockade, of course, follows the complete breakdown of the 21-hour ceasefire talks in Islamabad with Vice President J.D. Vance, where Iran refused to agree to nuclear dismantlement. Now, what's happening here with this U.S. enforced blockade of Iran's blockade is literally virtuosic artistry as far as the geopolitical chessboard is concerned. Calling this 4D or 5D chess on Trump's part would be an understatement. Iran had one card. They had a single point of leverage. That's it, just one. Weaponize the single most important energy choke point on the planet. That's all they had. Close the Strait of Hormuz, disrupt the global energy market so as to force the United States and Israel to halt their military bombardment. Iran believed that by threatening Hormuz, they could trigger a global economic shock so severe that Washington would have no choice but to stand down. The world would literally be begging America to stop. They'd sound like the whole world would sound like Democrats, right? And as it turns out, that logic was catastrophically flawed for the Iranians. When Iran mined the strait and started shaking down tankers, it didn't create leverage. It created urgency. Urgency for the Gulf states to build pipeline infrastructure around the strait, bypassing the strait. Urgency for global energy markets to reroute. Urgency for regional actors to further align with the United States. And most importantly, urgency for Trump to act and act decisively. And Trump's move was pure jujitsu. He, in effect, said, you want to blockade the strait? You think that's your card, right? You want to blockade the strait? Fine. I'll blockade it better than you. I'll blockade it better than you ever could. Trump has literally instituted a blockade of Iran's blockade. He did the unthinkable. He saw their hand and he raised them 10x. U.S. forces, as we speak, are blockading the Strait of Hormuz and effectively blockading Iran's blockade.